Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Speaking Your Mind with Larry Cox. Changed the name of the show. Just wanted to do that to rebrand the show a little bit so we could start the end of this year off and the beginning of next year with a sort of a new theme and a new way of doing things. And since I'll be taking office at the first of the year, I wanted to just freshen up the studio, which I did. I still have some junk in the back of the room here, which I've got a lot of it cleaned up. All of it will be out by the end of the year. I actually got a new computer. I got a new desk. Just freshened up the studio here a little bit. Just wanted to get everything rocking and rolling for what's going to happen here in the new year, and just excited about you guys, right? So let me go ahead and say hi to everybody in the show. Hope you guys share the show. Let's build this audience, and then I want to talk to you guys a little bit because this is going to be one of those shows tonight where I try to engage you. We get a little interactive because I want the show to be a little more interactive sometimes, to give you see what's going on. So, man, I think it's going to be nice. So let me go ahead and say hello to some folks in here. And I've got this nice big screen now too, so it's better than the small laptop. So I actually like it a lot better. And I've got the laptop here to the right now too, so I have me a media source. I'm going to use that when I do a show I'm doing this week on Tuesday, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. I'll have the laptop over here that I'll be able to get data and resources with and everything. So I'm going to like that. So let me go ahead and start off saying hi to some of our friends. Mary Boysworth, welcome to the show. Cheryl Moulton, Charlotte Gellert, Dan Burks, CJ Lester, Alex McDonald, Tina Hobbs. You sound echoey. Sorry about sounding echoey. Good evening. I'm not in an echo chamber. Sorry about that. I don't know what the deal with that is. I'll see about working on that at some point. Ben and Cheryl Garcia, welcome to the show, Ben and Cheryl. George Kelichek, welcome to the show. Kathy Mills McGrath, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming to the show. I cleaned a lot of stuff out of the room, so that could be where there's not a lot of stuff in here that could cause the echo. Alex McDonald, my technical advisor, will that cause some echoey sound, Alex, with having a lot of the sound? If the mic's always been that far away, I don't really think that's the issue, Charlotte. I think it's just where I've moved a lot of stuff out of here that just absorbs sound. I'll have to maybe do some adjusting on the soundboard, and I'll get Alex to work that through with me here at some point here later on. But guys, thanks for joining me tonight. And what I'd like to talk to you about tonight is what do you at the end? Well, okay, how about that right there? So let me ask, guys, what about this? Bill Campbell says it's not bad. So what about this, guys? How about you? What are your major concerns for Rockdale County as it comes into 2025? James Colbert, welcome to the show. What do you think is going to be your major concern when it comes to 2025? That's going to be what you're going to be concerned about the most in Rockdale County. Let's hear from you guys in the chat. What do you think? Sounds fine now. Thanks, Alex. I used to be able to and it could just be the new computer and just different things. Bill Campbell, I'm going to go ahead and take notes as we're talking. Bill Campbell's is the courthouse and cost. That is going to be that's going to be interesting. Tina Hobbs, the cost of the JAC. So that's Tina. That's the cost. Charlotte Gellert, how hard it will be to clean up all the mess and all the drama in all the department. Mary Boysworth is taxes. Dan Burks, no school property tax for over 70. And Representative Taylor is going to introduce legislation regarding senior exemptions, which, as being a new member of the Rockdale County Board of Education, January 1, I will support Miss Representative Taylor in her efforts, and I know Representative Moore is actually supporting Representative Taylor in her efforts to help senior citizens in Rockdale County curtail their property taxes. James Corbett also with the courthouse. So, yeah, with me, of course, going to be a little biased. My major concern in 2025 is going to be education in Rockdale County. Becoming a new member of the Board of Education in Rockdale County, I'm going to do a lot of focus on education. Really do deep dives as I get on the board to what we can do to improve education in Rockdale County. What our students and teachers need to be able to improve test scores and just improve performance of students altogether. Tina Hobbs, major review. William Campbell, infrastructure. Bill, I think we're all concerned about infrastructure in Rockdale County. It's a major concern. Cheryl Garcia, JAC costs, school taxes, increasing economic development, bringing in more sales industries, commercial entities, better education. So I think Samantha Huggins, Samantha Sweeney, yes, check in with teachers. We have lots of ideas. Samantha, that's something that I intend to do. One of the things I pledged to do as a candidate was to actually go and visit schools. And I am going to go and visit schools. And they will be generic conversations where I will not talk policy, will not talk policies and procedures. I will not talk day-to-day operations. It will just be fact finding. How's it going? What's going on? What can the board do? What can the system do to help improve education in the school system? And that's what it's going to be. And that's what I can do, and not step on toes and not violate the law. I mean, but me visiting a school and asking how you're doing or what is going on is not violating anything of interfering with the day-to-day operations. Actually, one of the things that the Board of Education is tasked with is public relations. And what better way for the board to have better public relations in the community and the school system is to visit the schools and let the teachers, the administrators, and the students actually know who a board member is, and that the board members actually do care about you, the teachers, the administrators, and the students. Because trust me, Samantha, and any other teachers and educators that are listening out here tonight or will be listening to a rebroadcast of this, I care about teachers, administrators, and students. I care about Rockdale County becoming one of the best counties in the state of Georgia that provide education to the students. It's something that I want to do. I want to strive to come on this board and help this board achieve actual greatness, because I'm not impressed with this, this board of excellence that they get right now from the GSBA. I would trade that for a heartbeat for the school system receiving accolades and national awards for academic achievement. So that's what needs to happen. Is we need to stop bragging about being a board of excellence when we need to find a way that Rockdale County school system is recognized as a national treasure in the educational system in the United States of America. That's what I want. That's my goal. And I want to tell you guys, I have always succeeded in the business world. I have always succeeded in anything that I have set my mind out to do. And I'm not going to let this be the exception to my success. Because I have always exceeded and prevailed in anything that I've done. And this is not going to be the exception because it's too important. If there's anything that I've ever succeeded in, this will be the most important thing in my life that I have ever taken on. And that's becoming a member of the Rockdale County Board of Education and striving to bring educational excellence to Rockdale County that we're recognized on a national scale. That's my goal. Now, Larry Cox, is that a hefty goal? You know what? Go big or go home. It's what I always said. A coach, go big or go home. And that's what we need to do, guys. We go big. Go big, shoot for the stars, set a goal and shoot for that goal. And that's what I intend to do. But, that's me. That's one person. I was talking to somebody the other day, and this is what they told me. They said, Larry, what we're looking for is Rockdale County to succeed. And for Rockdale County to succeed, we have to have success across the board. Well, we have to have business succeed in Rockdale County, education succeed in Rockdale County. We have to have Rockdale County government succeed. We have to have the city of Conyers succeed. So we need to have success all across the board. And that's just something that I look at as a reality. And as a community, I believe we began this past election cycle when we elected new people to the Board of Commission. We elected myself to the Board of Education. We took out a lot of longtime incumbents because we wanted to do something different. We wanted to set a standard that hadn't been set, and we're going to expect things of these elected officials. But as this person reminded me, you three can't do this alone. The citizens who brought forth this change and the voters need to stay engaged. They need to stay involved, and they need to push you three elected officials, and not only you three, but the rest of the elected officials. They need to push you guys across the finish line, push you to the change that needs to be happened. So we don't have the status quo in Rockdale County, that Rockdale County can be a premier place to come do business. Rockdale County can be a premier educational hub in the United States. Rockdale County can be a place that people want to come and live. And because we're going to have limited number of limited housing, it will go for a premium. And we'll have such good business in here that we'll be able to give our seniors and our homeowners the tax incentives and breaks that they need, because we'll have such a flourishing business community that we'll be able to offset those taxes from our homeowners. That now our homeowners bear the brunt of the tax in this county right now because of the 65% residential, 35% business. That needs to be, that needs to be a 50-50 mix at least here, guys, so that we can give homeowners a break in Rockdale County. I think there's a lot of things that we can look at, a lot of things that are just in Rockdale County that we can look forward to. And I know a lot of people are concerned about this administrative judicial complex. Like I said, we need to quit calling it a judicial complex. This is not a judicial complex. This is an administrative complex with a giant parking garage and a little bit of courthouse touch-up. That's what we really have here, guys. Let's call it what it is. We're going to build a humongous administrative building. We're going to build a humongous parking garage and we're going to touch up the courthouse. When back in 2018, we go that far back, it was sold. We've got to, build this new building. We got to do all this. We're out of compliance. There's no way to meet safety in this current building. But what do? We don't do any of the things that we said we needed to do with a new courthouse. We're going to build a brand new, a brand new administrative building, and we're going to touch up the existing building. That's what we're going to do. That's just crazy, right, guys? It is crazy. So George Kilichek, what have you got here? So, George Kilichek tends up all these things. So, George, if I'm not mistaken, I know Gloria English had reached out to me, and I got her in touch with you and Tom. She was concerned about a development that was going to be developed up in Rockdale, up in North Rockdale. There was like 345 homes, and I think, George, you had told me your concern was that we're wanting to put all these homes in the watershed. So what do you think about this project? About the 345 homes up in North Rockdale? I know Miss English was very upset about it. She sent me some information, and I know that the two best people to actually handle this, in my opinion, and to push it off to were you and Tom. And she told me that you and Tom responded to her almost immediately. Tom gave her the breakdown about the project, and he did not see it passing the Planning and Zoning Commission. That they were most likely going to be rejecting it. You told me that I believe the project doesn't make sense where it lies in a protected watershed zone. So again, we've got people wanting to get these variances from zoning and just do thing anyway. So Clayton says, it's a critical time for our county. Are we going to become East Lithonia, DeKalb County, or a better version of Newton Covington? I would like to be the best that Rockdale can be. Let's not put a stigma to us. And I see where you're coming from, Clayton. I agree. I mean, let's say this is what it looks like we're trending, but let's not do either one of those, right? Let's let Rockdale be the best version of Rockdale. Let's think outside the box, and let's do things that that nobody else think we could. George Kilichek, as far as that project up in North Rockdale, ordinances will not allow large housing and watershed planning, watershed protected district. So, and that's what you got to look at. You've got people that want to do, they want variances to do things that the current ordinances don't allow them. And our problem is that we've had these projects where we've had the city and the county in the last 3 years or 4, they have been granting these variances, and these developments have been able to be built. And that's why you see all these empty townhomes and apartments throughout Rockdale County and the city of Conyers. Now, there are some people who have sparsely leased or rented some. And remember, all these things were touted as they were selling them, and they couldn't sell them. So now they're leasing them. Okay. So what we've got to look at as Rockdale County residents, what do we want Rockdale County to look like? And I think we've been very clear what we want Rockdale County to look like. This previous administration said, well, it's not Mayberry anymore. And most people who moved to Rockdale County came to Rockdale County because they like the ruralness of Rockdale County. They like being 40 minutes outside of a major city, but in a rural setting. That's what drew people to Rockdale County. They weren't drawn to Rockdale County because they wanted Rockdale County to become Buckhead, or they wanted Rockdale County to become a small Atlanta. They were drawn to Rockdale County because of the quaintness and the ruralness and of the small town, small community atmosphere that Rockdale County provided the individuals that moved to Rockdale County. That's what the allure was to Rockdale County, and Rockdale County has lost that. Whether you believe it or not, it has. On last week's show, I spoke about realtors, talking about the struggle to actually sell property in Rockdale County. There are many factors on it. The school system is a factor. The biolab is a factor. You got interest rates are a factor. The change of Rockdale County, where it has become more high density than it used to be, that's a factor that has changed in Rockdale County. And Rockdale County citizens are not happy with that, right? Because they don't like the fact that that's what's going on. So Rockdale County residents came to Rockdale County because of what Rockdale County once was. And this thing about it, Rockdale County can once again become that community. We really, really can. And it's just going to, in my humble opinion, just like the resident told me this week, you three new elected officials can't do everything. We elected you to speak for us, but we still have to use our voices and speak for ourselves. And no truer words, in my opinion, have ever been spoken. Because with the power of your voices, you brought about political change in this county. With the power of your voices, you said, enough is enough. We want a new direction. And now it's up to you, the citizens, to keep those voices engaged so that these newly elected officials and those officials who are still in office in Rockdale County understand that you just weren't momentarily or temporarily speaking your mind. Speak your mind with host Larry Cox, right? You weren't just doing that momentarily, but this is a new mindset, a new way of thinking that you, the citizens of Rockdale County, are expecting better of your elected officials. You're expecting better of government. You're expecting to be listened to. You're expecting that when you say that you want the county to go in a certain direction, that you will be listened to and you will not be lectured to and you will not be told, well, listen, let me educate you why you're wrong about what you want me to do and why I'm going to do it. And you're going to like it because I'm going to educate you as to why you're going to like what I'm telling you I'm going to do. That lecturing me thing does not go over well. And we might see that when I get on a certain board that I don't take being lectured too well. So just saying, don't take being lectured too well when I might be the boss or we are the boss. You, the citizens, are the boss. And when your employees are lecturing you, and they're getting off track. You don't need to be lectured to. You're the employer. You're the boss. You know what you want. You're sending clear direction as to what you want and what you expect your employees to do. You are giving them clear orders, and you expect them to carry them out. Corliss Turner, a truer statement has never been made. We, the people, must be the change. We the people must be the change. And that's exactly what must happen in Rockdale County. We the people must be the change. We hold our elected officials accountable, and we hold ourselves accountable, because we need to keep the pressure up, keep the momentum up, and move forward in a precise measure. Rockdale County, what happened this past primary was just the beginning. We will continue to demand that our elected officials listen to what we want. It was very clear. You guys elected different people in the Board of Commissioners. You don't like the courthouse project. You don't like the high density housing. You don't like all the ordinance changes. You didn't like the type of businesses that were being brought into the county. You didn't like these things, and you said, let's make a change. On the Board of Education level, you said, we want a better school system. I talked to many teachers. We want to find a way to restore discipline in the classroom so we can teach. You, the taxpayers, also said, we want a good educational system, but you can't tax senior citizens out of their homes to provide this education. So you got to find a way to fund this education and not put senior citizens into homelessness. So there are several things that you, the voters, you ask us to do. And as your elected officials, it's us up to do those things. And it's also up to you to help us do those things. And that, that's what, I want to do. I want your help in doing that. So as far as me wanting your help, I really do want your help. So, no, and I'm going to put out something this week. I'm going to have my second town hall, November the 10th. Tuesday, November the 10th at the Movement Church off of Iris Drive. I will be providing the address and time and all that. The time will be 6 o'clock, and it's off the access road on Iris Drive. I will be giving the address to the Movement Church in a flyer this week. But just to let you all know that I will be having my second town hall November the 10th. 6 p.m. at the Movement Church. And then after that, the second month of each quarter, I will have a town hall once I take office. And we'll get people to come and invite some other board members to be on the panel with me. And we'll talk education. We'll talk about, what you want. We're going to listen to you. It's going to be a listening town hall. So it's going to be, your opportunity to tell us what you like, what you don't like, and what you want to see different. So you guys need to take advantage of any time that you are offered the opportunity to freely speak to your elected officials. And that's why I'm glad to see, Rhonda Taylor's series that she's doing over at the library. Very well attended. And I'm glad to see that, people are coming and that's not Corey's church, Charlotte. Is November 10th a Sunday? Sorry, guys. Let me look at my calendar. I could be my bad. November the 12th. Thank you, Joy. I had November 10th on the brain for something. I was doing something on November the 10th. I have something I'm doing, but it is November the 12th. It is Tuesday, November the 12th. See, I don't have any flyers fixed up yet. So that's that. So it'll be Tuesday, November the 12th at the Movement Church on Iris Drive. And I will have that, the address and everything out there, and we'll be putting that out. I'll put up something on Facebook this week. And if I can get my good friend Alex to make me a flyer like he did last time and put it out there, we'll do that. I'll get him all the pertinent information for that and everything. So, that'll work out good. Guys, and being fiscally responsible, that's one of the things that the citizens of Rockdale County Yeah, Charlotte, that's the first reading of the budget. That's good. Uh, Marine Corps' birthday, November the 10th. I knew the 10th was very special for some reason, Bill. Thanks for throwing that out there. So, guys, I just want you to know that one of the things I took serious as I listened to you guys in running for office, your demand for fiscal responsibility. And like I say, we've got to be fiscally responsible in all forms of government, in the city, the county, and the Board of Education. I think we really need to look at these budgets, see what is essential, what's not essential, and we need to be very responsible with your tax dollars when we are funding these budgets. So that's what I want to do. My first priority going on to the board is really uh, looking at this budget and what can we do to make sure that we are fiscally responsible, because the board has had to go into funds balance the last couple of years to fund the budget, to balance the budget. Now they got about like $5 million left. They've borrowed more than 5 million in the last 2 years. So if the trend would go and they would go between $6 and $7 million over budget again, they don't have enough money in the reserves to actually do that again. Plus, they've also raised taxes the last 2 years, and you're going to hear some of them say they haven't, but they have raised taxes. The Board of Education has raised taxes. They are getting more revenue than they had each of the last two budget cycles. Plus, they spent past the additional revenue and spent more money. So we've got to look and see where that money's going. Are there places? Do we have programs that we're not utilizing? Do we have staffing that exists somewhere that we're overstaffed somewhere? We've got to look at these things. And not only the Board of Education, but the Board of Commission needs to look at their budget too. They need to make some cuts also, because they have been operating a little bit heavy also, in my personal opinion. They've been operating a lot heavy. So, and I think I really do take a lot of this back to COVID funding. I think these entities got this COVID funding. They spent this COVID funding on programs and salaries that were supposed to have been temporary, but they funded full-time ongoing things, and now they've had to increase their budget, increase tax dollars to be able to fund these things, and they're just not able to keep up with it. So there's what some of the things I think we need to look at. So let me see here. Has anybody else got any additional comments? So as we're going to talk about something that I'm going to do this coming Tuesday, there is something that I will be doing this Tuesday, and that's election day, right? So this Tuesday on the 5th, I will be, yes. So I will be, doing an election show with Alex McDonald, him and Danielle, and there's some other people going to be on. I will not be broadcasting the show to the Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. I will be broadcasting it to my personal Facebook page and my personal YouTube page, but it will also be on Alex's page, the TPS report. Alex, are you broadcasting that on any other channel besides the TPS? So if you are, you can go ahead and put it out here in the chat where you're going to be broadcasting to. But Alex will be broadcasting that to the TPS report, and like I said, he's going to send me a link, and I'm going to be sharing it on my Restream with my personal Facebook page and my personal YouTube page. So we're going to be talking about the presidential election. We'll be talking about the Senate and congressional races. I will not be doing the election for a party. It's just election coverage. So I'm mine is just going to be election coverage and my talking head analysis of what went on, why it went on, and because I've talked to a lot of voters, right? I've talked to a lot of Republican, Independent, and Democrat voters, and I'll tell you what, I've talked to a lot of Republicans who were not going to vote for Donald Trump. Some did vote for Donald Trump. I've talked to Democrats who did not vote for Kamala Harris and voted for Donald Trump. I've talked to independents who have done the same exact thing, voted for Donald Trump and voted for Kamala Harris. So it is very interesting, the mix match of who and what and why people voted and what their important issues were. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about Tuesday night on Alex's election show. You know, we're going to talk about, we're going to look at polling numbers, because people are going to say why they voted and who they voted. So we're going to look at some of these polls, and we're going to talk about, you know, this is what people were looking at when they voted. It's you know, people are a lot of times reluctant to tell you what they're going to do before they do it, but after they do it, they feel a little more freer to speak. So some of this exit polling that happens, we're going to have a clear indication of where the electorate is right now. I really think the electorate is divided, and I think we all sort of see that. The electorate is divided, and they all have their own issues of why they're voting for who they're voting for. And, you know, and we just want to talk about that because it's things that people need to talk about. And Cheryl wanted to know, how do I think the House bills are going to go? I think they're going to be successful. That's just me. That's my just talking to people, but that's my echo chamber as far as the House bills. But I'll tell you what we will do. I'll talk about those House bills on the election as we started getting results in from Georgia on those constitutional amendments, because they are important, because local officials will be making decisions if Amendment 1 passes, then every elected official in Rockdale County is going to have to decide whether they want to have a hearing to opt out or not. It'll be the first little caucus thing that all of us do first week or so of January, because you've got from January 1 to February the 28th, or if it's 29 days, because you have to have 3 hearings and opt out by March the 1st. If someone was going to opt out, if that Amendment 1 passes. So that'll be an interesting topic to talk about also, as far as some state and local stuff that, you know, that I'll speak about Tuesday night on the show. But it's going to be interesting. Tuesday night is going to be, I think, one of the most interesting elections that we've had in a very long time. I think it could be more interesting than 16 or 20. That's my opinion. I really think it could be that. But that's my opinion. So, guys, what is it? 8:41. So, did a little a little bit of a rebrand tonight with Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. Nice audience tonight. Thank you for your participation. Madeline Reese from the anti-biolab group, as she's been really tied up last few weeks, but next week she's going to come on the show, talk about some of her issues, talk about her horse who's been impacted by this biolab chemical disaster. And I'm going to do a little research, and we'll talk about some election wrap-up stuff too. We'll talk about the 3 amendments next week, and what happened and how that impacts you. So we'll do a little bit of wrap-up on that next week on Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. So I want to thank every one of you for showing up tonight. I want to thank you for coming out, supporting me, continually supporting the show. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the support. So good night. And I shall see you Tuesday night if you want to watch the election show on my personal Facebook page or YouTube page. And if you don't do that, then I'll see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. on Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox.